Welcome back to the button video, button mending. A sweater of mine lost 2 buttons and I completely lost one of the buttons and I found one of the buttons that fell off. So I'm going to show you a life hack for finding a button if you don't already have one, which you might not know, and then just generally how to sew on 2 different types of buttons. Okay, so the first thing is where to find a button if you don't already have one. White Oxfords have extra buttons in them. So as you can see, there's these 2 buttons and there's no buttonhole for that button. So what people typically do is sew in extra buttons, knowing that at some point if you love this shirt, you're gonna lose a button. So I don't think that we need 2 extra buttons on this Oxford, so I'm gonna borrow one of these buttons for my sweater mending. So I'll just snip, and take that button off. And not lose it. So I've got the button. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to sew on a button like this, a decorative button. It's just got like a little hole on the back side. And since the thread's gonna be hidden, it doesn't really matter what color the thread is. I'm gonna use my purple thread from the last video for this demo. And then I can see here where my button was lost. There's some thread there. I'm just gonna snip that off, but I can still sort of see where that placement was. So I'm gonna line up the button there. I'm gonna take my needle with the thread already attached. By the way, you can go watch the last video to learn how to thread a needle and to make a really quick and easy knot. And then I'm gonna bring my needle through to where that remnant of thread is, and then just slip this button on and then go through a healthy number of times, maybe 4 or 5.
So you are sure to have enough thread. And then on your last round,
you'll bring your thread back to the back side and you'll make another knot like we did on the last time, or you can do that quick and easy knot again like I showed you in the last video. So now we've got this button fully attached. So that button is fixed. And as you can see, this sweater's cute. My mom got it for me on a trip and it's got all different buttons anyway, but wouldn't that be cute to do to a sweater that is like keeps losing buttons and then just put like so many different kinds of buttons on? So for this sweater, it really doesn't matter that my next button doesn't quite match the others, but it's good enough. It's the right size, most importantly. The size is the most important to fit through this buttonhole. So as you can see, when I put it over the top of that buttonhole, or I could even send it through just to test it, make sure that it fits through. Yep, goes right through. In the same, okay, so we're gonna look for that thread that's left over there, and we'll line up the button with that. And then this, as you can see, this button's a little bit different than the last button. Can you see? There's 4 holes instead of just that 1 hole on the back. So, so we're gonna do this a little bit differently. So I'm gonna get my thread. I guess I'll just keep using, well, I've got the brown thread here, so why not just use it? So I'm going to use brown thread for this one because the thread will be seen because of the nature of the button. Okay, and then again I can actually show you this time since I have to do it anyway. I'm going to thread through the eye, pull the thread through to double it, and then the quick and easy knot is holding it with your index finger, between your index finger and your thumb, and then making one full rotation, holding, pinching, and then roll it back and forth between the finger and the thumb a few times until it rolls off the finger, and then pinch it between the finger and the thumb and pull down, and there's a nice little knot. It might take a few times of practice to get this knot down, but that's okay. All right, so then we're going to go from the back side again. We're going to pull this needle up through that hole that we see there from the last button, and then I can just slip the button on at any hole, any one of those button holes. Pull it through, and then we're always going to go diagonally through the button. And then come through the other hole and go diagonally again. So this is something that just seems, it's like seemingly simple, but if you've never been taught it before, you might not realize that it's so easy to fix something rather than throwing it out. And you might go around 2 or 3 times on each hole.
We save so much clothing this way by mending. We save so much from going to the landmine.
Okay, so the last one, I'm going to leave this loop of thread on the back side. I'm going to come through and then take the needle back before, I'm not going to pull the thread all the way through. I'm going to put the needle back through this way, and then I'll flip this so you can see, and then I'll just take my thread and candy cane it up the needle about 5 times, wrapping the thread around the needle about 5 times. See that? And then you can just push it down, pull the thread all the way through, and as you can see, that makes a really nice tight knot at the bottom of the thread. And then I can snip it. Nice, and that button's done, and now this sweater is as good as old.